Weed leaves.
No, yours was up there.
Oh shit. So this
This is mine. Why, were you drinking it?
I don't know. I don't know what I grabbed.
As long as you didn't spit it in.
We're all drinking champagne out of, what are those bottles called?
Little seals jars.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mason jars. Mason jars. Yeah.
All right, we can start the show.
I guess that's some shit that John May would do.
Yeah.
Extra ass bullshit. All right, hey. Don't flush the toilet.
You are now tuned in to the Crappy Awesome Podcast.
Welcome to another mimosa-filled episode of the Crappy Awesome Podcast. We are your host, the Diego Brown Project. I am Mr. Arash, even though nobody calls me Mr. And with me is KILLcRey, even though we'll just call him Chris.
There you go.
You guys aren't drinking mimosas, though. It's just straight champagne.
It's just straight up, bro.
Is it because you don't have orange juice?
No, because you don't fuck up that type of perfection.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Like kind of perfection that comes in a $2.50 bottle of champagne?
Well, I mean, it's. I tend to believe it's the quality of the love behind the drink.
Yeah. Real
So you don't want to fuck that up with orange juice.
You want every part of your tongue to dance with the champagne.
Dance, right?
And not feel the orange juice button in and saying, yo,
Yeah.
what y'all doing?
Fucking with my palate.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Anyway, we're of course brought to you by Platform Collection. Make sure you go over to platformcollection.com and check out all the content that's on there. There's music videos and essays and content and essays, and I should come up with a new sentence at some point for this.
Yeah.
But while you're there, check out our sibling podcasts. There is Culture Sessions, hosted by Malathion Archive, produced by Spock Beats.
Spock Beats.
D2 Megs Hologram Podcast, going long and hard and strong.
With a gangster lip.
Twisted and little sexy, but not totally.
He missed a step, but not his stride.
Doesn't want to make it weird for you.
No.
There's, of course, Proof of Life Radio and Status Escalate, two separate shows hosted by the same colleague.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make fun of him on today's show.
Okay.
I'll come up with better lines for the next one, though.
Cool.
Life on the Road with 60 East. Really, though? With Cookbook of LA Symphony. There's Orchestrated, hosted by Noah James and Lisa J. The Ghetto Blaster podcast, hosted by Ricochet. And a couple of other shows that are currently in the oven.
Yeah.
They're not baked quite just right yet.
No.
But once they get out, we're going to put some sauce on them and let you take them in.
Take it in.
Take it in however you
slow.
like.
All right.
Slow and hot and deep. Oh, wait, no. I'm supposed to save those only for the 2Mex jokes. Oh, well. Make sure to tune in to 2Mex Hologram Radio. There is a portal to 2Mex Hologram Radio over at platformcollection.com, and it's 24 hours of streaming independent music content. It's like a dash of hip-hop flavor and twist, but not necessarily only hip-hop.
Nah, it's whatever
There's-
2Mex puts up. I heard a
tons of
folk
shit
song
on
on there the other day. I was
Folk
like, what the
song?
fuck?
Banjos, like dueling
Yeah.
banjos and shit.
Yeah.
Pong, pong. And the listening device of preference or platform is TuneIn Radio, so you can check that out at tuneinradio.com. Search Platform Collection, search 2Mex Hologram Radio, all that stuff is on there.
Yeah.
And all those links are over at platformcollection.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Platform Collection, that is one word all spelled out, and on Twitter at Platform Collect
Notion.
with Notion. Shout out Tor Project. It's an open source privacy platform software. Sometimes, I'm sure some of you have no idea what that means. I only say those words in a string to make it sound like I know what it means. But mostly it means that there's different people, engineers and coders and programmers from around the world working together to bring you a more private web browsing experience. Learn more at torproject.org. And of course, basically a commercial, burnerpodcast.com. Burner Podcast is hosted by yours truly. That's me, by the way. That's what yours truly means. And that covers the Burning Man community and culture and all that good stuff. Check that out at burnerpodcast.com. Tell them about Stitcher and iTunes and all that bullshit.
Yeah, if you're listening to this on Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, or Spreaker, go over to platformcollection.com. You can hear every episode of Crappy Awesome all the way back to episode 0. We're quickly nearing episode 300.
300.
Yeah.
We added a 3 to that 0 and another 0.
Yeah, 300.
That's how math works.
So it's coming up. The gentleman we have on the show today, we're nearing 300, and this is the first time he's ever been on the show.
What the fuck?
Ridiculous. I don't know what the fuck happened
Some
there.
bullshit there.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I
Thank
don't
you
know.
very much for having
What
me.
have you been doing this whole time?
Just working, man. Just working. Trying to work.
Extra's in the house.
Trying to run that walk, hollow bodies drop, yeah, I got my aim unlocked. Yeah, trying to run that walk, hollow bodies drop, yeah, I got my aim unlocked. I'm on some carnage gore. I wanna see somebody's blow these talking hoes or stepping toes and they ain't trying to see me go. I fuck around and do some shit, I won't believe it either. Looking for attention in the wrong direction, yeah, I should take a breather. I'm citywide or city lies. Rappers not defined by likes, yeah, the tickets at the door say otherwise. Shout out to the O, the rest of y'all could eat a dick. We be rocking shows so you can step onto my click. Baby stepping, probably trolling, building dough. Play my tape inside your office, watch the building blow, riding low. Even when these hoes is trying to drama on my own, I'm so ahead of life, this world is old. You keep my steps inside, I'm flattered. Just for that a day, I'm smoking fatter. If you ain't what you portray, the shit you talking at her. Getting served without a platter, fuck a dream, I'm living real. Told her that philosophy, and now she trying to cop a feel. Life be getting way too real, and I chief a bunch. I feel the fuckery around, so y'all can miss me much. You're older, kinda fishy, kinda like a bitch. I hang with nothing but them young thugs, like the gang was rich. Flying over heads like the name was Birdman. Y'all ain't really call it rap if y'all ain't getting no man, oh man. I hope you ain't slip, I'll catch you on the flip. Set you with a flirt, now fuck you in a drip. In a drop top whip, fuck a hot box. Water now, high like block rock. Serving out of bodies, drugging out. Swerving out of skinny hoes, like my city butter house. Lucy with that scumbag squad, fuck with you bros. Dirty motherfucker from the dirty no crew. Heavyweight gorilla flow that leave you gas the black of you. Shout out to the homie split, harder than my stick. Smoke you like a split, numb you like a stick. Throw you off a cliff, and you ain't even see it coming, yeah we running up. I heard talking sheep around the corner, that's what's up. Overwhelmed with opinions, I got your digits, so I'm out with a zig and spoken feelings. Y'all playing Quidditch, I should just quit it. Now on another note, I'm on another note. Crew the bill, shout out to the food is catching bills. My player's real, I threw your girl in heels. I seen the way she see me, I told her play for keeps. She didn't believe me, class is now in session. The rapper is exception, the green like Osuala, yeah, like Guano said, we after Raleigh, yeah. Blast coast, my city legged like a circus with your jokes. You ain't beef, it's a weenie roast. At your show acting loud, who trying to squabble? Back you in my chain, go back inside the show, start acting louder. And fuck you mean, you ain't heard of
So,
me,
dude, man, I got a lot to talk to you about, bro. So,
Let's do it.
there's a bunch of shit that I need to know. Let's back people up a little bit. What was your like early experience with music? Like, what do you feel like launched you in the direction of music?
Honestly, I just stumbled across it. Just I learned everything myself. I didn't have anyone teach me anything. I don't have any siblings. I'm an only child, you know. So I feel like I'm a late bloomer as well. I'm still learning to this day everything that, you know, how everything works. And I've been doing it for a while. Actually, I've been doing it for about 10 years already.
Yeah.
But everything I picked up myself, you know, just yeah.
Right. And then like the original incarnation of you being introduced into what would later become like a scene of music that you work in now was through what was the group was At Last?
At Last, yeah.
At
yeah.
Last, right. And
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was with you.
It was Rel. Now.
Rels, who goes, yeah,
Yeah.
with Oh No. Okay. And so when you guys, because I remember watching the early videos, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that Infamy's, he's, you know, he's a really creative
Fucking
dude.
animal.
Yeah, and he's a genius. But you could tell you guys and the way the videos were put together and the way the songs were put together that it seemed, at least, I don't know if you noticed because you were doing it, but from the outside it seemed at least like, okay, there's a lot of thought that's gone into this. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like the videos are all placed a certain way, and then a lot of people discovered on a high note through you guys as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't through SP, it was through you guys, you know, like, because at that time you guys were the most active. Severe was kind of there too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, so did you know that what was like gonna happen? Like, could you feel that, like, at the time?
Yeah. As far as At Last, yeah, I feel like as far as At Last, everything was good. Everything was moving consistent. You know, we had a plan. We had everything. Everything was going good.
Did you know your plan set you apart? Like, did you know, like, okay, people are probably not doing what we're doing? Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
Like, people weren't doing what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
across the board with the whole crew, really.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that was yeah.
But did you guys know that? Did you know?
No,
like,
yeah, well, I was aware of it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were aware of it. Yeah, just the fact that I mean, it's hard to be an artist, you know, in general. But I mean, just maintaining a crew is a whole different story, you know. And I've always respected that art. So from scratch, when that last was first brought up, it was supposed to be like. It was supposed to be on some crew, you know, like everything was gonna go, and it was. Everything was legit. Everything was tight. Everyone had input.
Yeah.
Everything got done because everyone put in work. You get me?
Yeah.
It was tight. It was cool. It was definitely an experience working with the crew as a crew.
Was it when it came to an end? Were you surprised, or were you like, okay, this is probably what was going to happen, like, or it's been happening for a minute, like?
Eventually, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We were just going to take certain routes, like different routes, but it was something that we always kind of. I guess we knew it was going to happen, like I said, but we just try to work as much as we can as far as a crew, you know, just trying to make it happen and shit.
And I remember, and like refresh my memory, but I kind of remember around the time that, okay, so At Last breaks up. I remember people talking about it on the internet, like, oh, and then people hitting you guys individually up, like, how come it's not happening? And then people were like, it's not real. They didn't really break up. And then there was a whole thing about you were like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Which was like something that you've done because, do you know? Are you familiar with Cool AD?
Wait, like done with music completely?
Huh?
Yeah.
Really? Just done.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
And,
I didn't know that.
And they went to some lengths to sell it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was people who were really like, oh, what the fuck? Like, why are you quitting? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then it was basically almost like a rebirth for you.
Yeah.
So in some ways, like, that part of you did quit.
Yeah.
And like what preceded was like, did you just feel freer?
Yeah. So at first, it was just I was not only crew wise, but at a personal level, I was going through so much shit at the time with my girl.
Yeah.
And it was just way too much shit going on. So I stopped for about a year and a half, maybe just doing music. I didn't focus on it. I had so much shit going on. So
like all together, you weren't
altogether,
fucking with that at all.
I wasn't really doing
at that time. Did you think you were done?
Nah, not necessarily. I feel like eventually I was gonna come back to it and do some shit because I had so much shit to write. I had so much shit build up. So I knew I was gonna come back to it. I just didn't even think of it at the moment. And then I
didn't think how people were gonna see it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I sat down. I started writing. Once I had a chance to, I started just kind of getting everything together. And then I started writing tracks. I didn't have anything in mind at that point. I was just writing. Writing. And then that track was gonna be a single. So. I was just like, fuck it. People haven't heard of me. People haven't heard from me for a while. So I'm gonna just try to sell it with like this.
Yeah.
So
and it
people
worked.
were waiting for an explanation. That's why. So
absolutely,
I had to. I had to and shit.
And you were pretty much. I mean, you didn't have a whole lot to comment on. On after the break. Was that on purpose as well?
No.
Were you just like, I
wanted to move forward. At that time, like I said, I had so much shit going on, but.
And that's the thing people don't understand, right? Like people don't know. Like you said, you guys were probably done for a while.
Yeah.
And people only know it like when you explain it, they think like, oh, it just happened overnight.
Yeah. Nah.
It's like when you see a couple break up.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're like, yo, we've been broken up for like a year.
Yeah, that's kind of.
We just didn't make it Facebook official until like last week.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Okay, so let me ask you this: from what you know, did the crew understand what was going on with you? Like, did you feel like everybody knew, like, or did you distance yourself from everything?
I kind of distanced myself because of that, for that reason. Like I said, I just had way so much shit going on. But at the same time, I started working on my own, and I felt something that, because since I started rapping, I've always kind of worked with Imphy. Imphy was the one I learned everything with, and he learned everything. I seen the process of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Super strong. So everything was always with him. There was that hollow feeling of not being able to work with him. You get me? As much as I can, just because I was at a solo tip. He had his shit going on as well. You get me? So
it felt like something was missing.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I tried as much as I can. I got shit together, pieces here and there, but even till this day, I feel like that whole that whole time I could have done so much more, and I should have focused on myself that whole time. You get me? But it was just kind of hard. Like I said, it's just shit going on, and I am super happy that happened, just because I was able to get in touch with myself. Like I said, I was always kind of focused in the whole type of crew thing, moving as a crew, moving as a set, everything, all the videos, all the songs, everything was really planned out as a crew, and I had that mentality, you get me? So working on myself, it just opened up a lot of doors, like crazy fucking doors, that I gotta focus on a different delivery now, because I'm alone, you get me? I gotta focus on a different topic. I gotta focus on 2 verses now, my own hook. I gotta make my shit, pop as a solo artist, you get me? So it opened up so many doors that I got kind of, that whole first album, it was just kind of a touch of everything I can do, I guess.
With a drop top, right for the pop. Gang got it on lock. Live what you are not. All for what y'all got. Kill on my line shot. Live for the headline. Back to my ex-rock. Fuck what my heart say. Burn off that Bombay. No Monday, yeah. Slap with the gunplay. Not to the 1-1. That's what I'm here by. Thra to my wrong one. I'm alright. Or you motherfuckers could die. Y'all wouldn't even know where to begin. I'm alive. Way too much to lose compared to all of y'all praying for my fall. Motherfuckers better know that I'm a god. From slow get up, blunt, make sure that shit'll run. Smash it all up again after she think I'm done. And a friend in my text, I come back, she want next. And she willing to prove, cause you think I'm the one. Bitches that flow, y'all ain't know how I roll. Y'all ain't shit how I know. I don't know, ask your hoe. On my team and her trolls, on my team out for moto. There's no world out there that my rich can't afford.
Despite the sky looking gray, I'm lifting my way. Depression can wait. Despite the sky looking gray, I'm lifting my way. Fuck up my way.
See me both living like my mama never had no say. Running like a boss, fuck a coach, you know when teaching me no play. Talking about you wanna see me when I'm there, you acting like you Ray. Late in pain, I made it, know I'm going back, I put that out my name. See me both living like my mama never had no say. Running like a boss, fuck a coach, you know when teaching me no play. Talking about you wanna see me when I'm there, you acting like you Ray. Late in pain, I made it, know I'm going back, I put that out my name. I'm choosing my fights, slow down on my flight. No more building up, too much in my mind. I'm pushing these mites, and if so, I'm right. I'm losing these nights to flex from my height. It's feeling too real, my past trying to follow. No, I got me on sight. Your girl trying to swallow. Y'all bitches can't see, y'all bitches look weak. No one can defeat. Now I wanna know you wanna understand when it's there I can breathe. Succeed and give no fucks about who complete. I'm building up me. I can feel it slow become everything I can be. I can see no one not ready. Shout out to Freddy. Him and I need to know 911's all around me. Give up about what you are, what you claim. Way up high is my aim. What I did to you, math is straight. But what you say? Show me the way. I got faith every day. You gon' keep me getting straight.
Despite the sky looking gray, I'm lifting my way. Depression can wait. Despite the sky looking gray, I'm lifting my way. Fuck up my way.
See me both living like my mama never had no say. Running like a boss, fuck a coach, you know when teaching me no play. Talking about you wanna see me when I'm there, you acting like you Ray. Late in pain, I made it, know I'm going back, I put that out my name. See me both living like my mama never had no say. Running like a boss, fuck a coach, you know when teaching me no play.
Not to prove it to anyone, but I guess just to myself, just to see, how I just kind of getting my feet wet as a solo artist, as my first solo project.
And for people to understand, like, what they saw before was, of course, it was only a part of you because you were in a group.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's still so many more things. Because, dude, you're one of those people, and would you agree? For sure, right? There, like, everybody on a high note for sure. At least, like the people who were early on a high note, like, people got to see them grow up, like, musically, but thousands of views, and everybody judges, and everybody's like, yo, and nobody seemed, because you guys came out at a time when that was, like, really, the first of its kind, you know what I mean? Like, for people to develop, like, you know, like all the people around that time. And, you know, we've talked to everybody around that time. All those people have been on the show. And I know how I understand it wasn't a scene, but it's kind of is. You know what I mean? Like, there is a connection, in the very least, that people are aware of each other.
Yeah.
And they're aware of each other's, like, trajectory.
Yeah, what is that? I keep hearing, I've always heard, like, multiple people say, we don't want to call it a scene, we don't want to call it a scene.
Yeah.
I've never understood why.
I kind of feel like the scene thing had, like, a negative connotation at some point.
Yeah.
That meant, like, less than real. You know what I mean? And
in what way?
I don't know. I just feel like at a certain point, like, like when people were like, like scene kids and a scene kid was kind of defined as someone who just had to be there,
right.
Not because they liked it or they were down for it, and so like hip hop was like, well, fuck that, we don't want a scene. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't make that much sense. Honestly, it's a scene. It really is, because people do like check for each other, and people are aware of each other, and people know how to network with each other, because you can't network if you don't know the other moving pieces.
Right. It's a community, it's a subculture, and like there is no movement that can succeed without being connected to other moving parts of the same movement.
Absolutely.
It's just like one person never comes up completely out of nowhere, and like a lot of times when you see like people that blow up to the mainstream, we in the other subculture scenes, communities, whatever you want to call it, like we've been watching where those connections come from. And a lot of times, like the bigger stars, like they feed off of some smaller scene and just take that energy and whatever's been building over there and place it out in front. Like, it was like Justin Timberlake's album. I don't know. I have no idea what album he's on right now. But the one that was like super like bluesy, jazzy stuff that came out recently. They were like, we've been listening to that kind of shit in the underground for quite some time. And everybody's like, wow, JT's so original. Or like, no, he just was listening to this music that you guys didn't know about. But other people have been doing that work in the factory for a minute.
I mean, and it's crazy because you know, on my other show, The Up on Tumex Hologram Radio, we play your song with you. What's the name of it? It's USP and Wino, I think.
It's The Woods.
Okay, so The Woods.
Yeah.
Where you're obviously flaunting a fact that you have other styles. Actually, you all did. On that song, that was I had never heard SP like that. I never heard you like that. I never heard Wino like that. And it seems like the shit you're putting out, like you are setting out to kind of prove that, right? There's more to it than what people have heard before.
Definitely,
Do you feel like people did you feel like people judged you before on how so?
Yeah, I mean, it's just I feel like at a certain point I feel like there's those hardcore hip hop heads. You get me? The hardcore hip hop heads that are always gonna say something with any little change as an artist. But honestly, I'm trying to grow. I love the sound. I love pushing myself and finding out what I can do. You get me? So anything I can do, and I could do, as far as I know, I could do everything I got. You know, I'm good, and I'm proud of what what kind of beats I could get down to. Some not like super trappy beats. I get to get down to like some. I could get down to like some some hip hop 90s shit. You get me? Like I could pull it off. I'm able to do that, and I'm proud of that.
And you don't want to just do one thing?
No, I don't. This last project I just released a month ago. It's called Noise. I proved that as well. You know what I mean? And to a certain extent, it's for the art. It's for the listener, but it's also to prove myself. You get me? What I'm able to do and how I'm able to pull it off. And this last project shows it. You get me? I got all kinds of beats there. I got all kinds of flavors, and it's only 10 tracks, but it shows what I'm able to do and how much I've evolved from a couple years before as well. You get me?
You know, is that something in this is always interesting to me. Like, is that something in hip hop that most characterizes how it's a cross-section of art and athleticism at the same time? And that's what's different than all the rest of music that exists in the world, because with most art, it's like that the Calvin Klein quote was repetition is reputation. So like most artists, like you create a specific sound, you keep doing that sound, and that's what helps you blow up. Whereas with hip-hop, you want to show that you can do 50 different things. And like that actually can hold you back if you're not showing that.
I feel like within, I don't know, I'd like to hear your opinion on this too, because you have been one of those people who's been able to watch the scene grow, and then you have people that you collaborate with at different points in their careers, and you're seeing how things change. Do you feel now, like looking back, like say like when you first started out, when the idea of like a 90s throwback feel was kind of like existent. It was a thing. People were doing it. There was enough people doing it to know that it was a thing, you know? And even if it was organic and it was kids who really respected the culture, people from the outside saw it as a throwback.
Yeah.
Because there was no way not to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but do you feel now looking back like, oh, I wouldn't have predicted where this would have gone to right now? Like, if we were all into boom bap, how are we all into whatever? Like, everybody's getting more open. Did you know it was going in that direction?
Not necessarily. I mean, there's still people, like I said, there's still hardcore hip-hop heads, you get me, that are still going to defend it and still going to bump and are still going to judge any new type. But I guess in a sense, I did see a change coming, you get me, just because
it seemed like you fought for a change.
Yeah.
Because you get the fact that, like, you're one of the weird ones.
Yeah.
You get that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
And part of that is one, something like this, what we're doing right now doesn't really, there's not too many of those out there where people actually hear your actual thoughts. So people judge it from like a cipher effect or a video.
Music, man.
And if you see that, you're like, okay, me as an adult man, I'm watching that shit and I'm like, okay, he's got some issues.
Yeah.
There's some fucking issues going on there, right? There's no way around that. Because it does not look fake. I know that shit.
Yeah, nah.
Okay, so when you're doing that, like, because to me, you've always been kind of trying to push things. Okay, this is what I was asking you. Do you know who Kool AD is?
No.
Okay, so there's an artist named Kool AD. He was from a group called Das Racist.
He's a tree like
and
in his arm.
Basically, I saw him the other day perform. Right, he's making a living. He's had a living for a while. They were on the cover of Rolling Stone. Blah blah blah. They broke up. Very similar to your guys. You know what I mean? Like at last trajectory. One person went kind of more what you would consider easily definable as mainstream, and the other one went kind of more experimental, right? And Kool AD went experimental. And one of the things that you share with him is there's like a provoking thing about your music. Like you tend to like poke people or instigate feelings of like, I know what you're saying is true, but I don't know if I want to think about that. But you'll say those things.
Yeah. I feel like to a certain extent, as an artist, I feel like that's what makes you right. That's what makes you. I don't think that there isn't any artist that doesn't have that feeling and drives them. You get me? So I feel like it's just it just depends on how much you want to show it, I guess, or how much you're willing to.
Do you have a filter?
Nah.
Is there shit you won't talk about? You've talked about some crazy shit.
Yeah, nah.
You've put like personal shit out there.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think so. I feel like. I mean, I've held back a couple of things. I have a track that I haven't released yet, and that one's just kind of like it's like I said. It's always for me. You get me? I throughout this whole time that I've been alone and shit. Like I've been rapping alone. I've learned that I rap for myself. Like that's me. And so these last couple tracks, they're for me. I feel like I do them so that I could go back to them later and just remember how I used to feel at a certain time. You get me? So, this track that I have it. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm gonna release it or not, but it's just in there, and I go back to it just because it touches certain things it touches feelings like crazy feelings for me.
What would stop you from releasing it? Like what are you wrestling with? Like, is it you feel like you're gonna hurt people? Do you feel like
not necessarily?
It's too much information.
It's just so much information. You get me? Like there's it's just information that people don't need to know. You get me? But it doesn't. At the same time, that's the. It's not that. How can I say it? Like the battle is. Why not throw it out there? You get me? Like
the artist side of you is like fuck everything.
Exactly. Like this is what I'm here for. You get me? Like this is what. And I guess another thing is that a lot of people are gonna just kind of listen to it as a track. You get me? But there's a lot of shit in there that every bar to bar, you get me? There's certain things that as an artist I wrote there for, like with like special intentions and shit. You get me? So people are just gonna look at it as a track, and I don't know. I mean, either way, I'm probably gonna end up releasing it just because it's just me and shit. shit. I wanna.
Are there things you regret saying on the record? Like if you could point out something where you're like, man, I probably should have said that.
Nah, not at all.
Nothing.
Even if there was, because even if there was, like, maybe if I were to find something right now, I'm pretty sure at the moment I felt it.
Yeah.
I was
justified at that moment.
At that moment, yeah. So I don't think so. Shit, like everything, I go by the moment. I write by the moment, and so yeah. I mean, if I said it, I probably meant it.
Okay,
sure.
so what is the obvious dark side of you that you're dealing with? Like, how has that manifested itself in your life? Like through depression, through anxiety, through. Okay, so how does that like manifest itself? Like when is it at its peak?
I've always, like I said, I've always been an only child. You know, so I've always had problems. I've always had issues at home. You know, so anything that
raised by who?
By my parents, both my
both
parents.
of them. Okay,
but things between them weren't always, good.
Yeah.
So there was just always pressure on me trying to do the right thing when it comes to my mom and my pop. You get me? So it's just there was a lot of things that was my only escape. You get me? Music and writing was my only escape and shit. And I would go, I would write some stupid shit that I wasn't proud of, you get me, but I kind of wrote it and then threw it away. It wasn't meant for like an actual track or anything like that.
You just had to get it out.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but I feel like anxiety definitely is a huge drive for me.
Okay, so if you're somewhere and you start to feel like anxiety come up, because there's a lot of people we've talked about that topic a lot on this show, like a lot. Yeah. And so, how does it start to come on for you? Like, if you're somewhere and you're starting to feel anxious, what starts to happen?
Well, aside from music, anxiety for me is just kind of like I start getting my heart just starts racing. I start getting super sweaty. You get me? And I just want to run. I want to leave. I don't really focus on. I don't know why. I just want to fucking run. I just want to get the fuck away from everything. You get me?
Fight or flight. That's kicking in.
Yeah. It's just it's fucking wild. I've heard, like, I've been at a restaurant and I've heard every little single spoon. It's like, it sounds so cliche as to a movie, you get me, but it's real shit. Like every little sound just gets super wild and crazy.
Yeah, it's called a panic attack.
Yeah, it's just,
and a lot of people have it without realizing it.
Yeah. The first couple of times I had it, I didn't know what was going on, but it was crazy.
So now that you realize it, what is there? Do you do anything to like try to minimize it other than what I can only like guess is by taking yourself away from everything?
Yeah.
Because you have to know, like, at a certain point, I can't, like, at a certain point, I'm going to be on a tour. I could be overseas. I could be wherever. And I can't just be like, yo, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm going to be professional about this.
Yeah.
How do you try to combat the anxiety now? Like, are you doing anything right now where you're like, yo, I'm trying to get it back in line?
Yeah, I mean, just thankfully I haven't had them in a while. I haven't had them in, I want to say, about over a year already.
Yeah.
And but I've known, and I guess before I had them enough to know that it's actually a mental thing. You get me? So it's definitely just wrestling your mind, just fighting it.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It has, like I said, I don't think there's anything, maybe even anything physical. You get me? That you can possibly do. You get me? It's just it's literally just mental. And trying to maintain. The last couple of times that I had it, I remember one specific time I was in the freeway and it was crazy traffic. I had just gotten out of work and I was stuck in the traffic, and I started feeling coming up.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I felt it coming up, and what I did, I started laughing purposely. I started just kind of like smiling, and it's like, okay, this shit's coming. You get me? Like I started, cold sweat. I started looking around. There's no way I could leave right like in the middle of the traffic. You get me? So the first thing I thought about was just get that exit, that first exit. But meanwhile, I'm stuck. You get me? So it's not like I really want to go fucking run out and just leave my car there. I'll explain everything later. You get me? But I need to leave right now. But that specific moment, I was able to control everything, and I just laughed it out. You get me? I try to distract myself, put music up, or whatever. And
what about like do you do any like traditional shit? Like you try to meditate? Do you fucking jog?
I've heard. Obviously, just exercise, and somehow just read. Just exercise your mind and shit. And I've never done that.
Let me ask you this: when did At Last break up?
This was 2013.
13?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. Yeah.
And then your panic attacks, the last one you had was about a year ago?
Yeah, about a year ago, yeah.
I wonder if there was any like connections there. Because I feel like
it's all connected.
Of course.
Yeah.
Being because I was wondering, like, being an only child, I imagine on some part you're attracted to being in a group, but as soon as like you're there, I wonder if that brings up anxieties that from being an only child.
They're feeling judged or like, oh shit, now I'm in comparison.
That subject fascinates the fuck out of me. Like what it's like as an artist to be part of a collective versus not be, or I mean, still have an extended crew. Like what works best for you? Because there's this grass is always greener moment, right?
Yeah.
Like you're thinking about like, yo, it'd be dope to just be able to hand this off to somebody else right now, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But then as an artist, like you get more free reign doing it alone. So there's give and takes on both sides. Like it's not like one is necessarily superior to the other. But I would love to hear your thoughts on sort of like how that experience has been for you, like on a personal level, and
and would you go
for the
back?
rest of your life?
Would you go back also?
No, honestly, I've always, like I said, I've always respected that whole crew culture. I've always liked it. That's what I grew up on. You get me? So, but at first, when I was doing my solo shit. The first album I dropped, it was definitely experimental. Like I was trying, and I was pushing it to a certain moment. Like I was really pushing the tracks. You get me? I was trying to say something that maybe even wasn't there. You get me? But like I said, it was just for myself. You get me? Just to see how much I could do for myself. But now through time, I started just kind of working. I started focusing on just studying, basically, just study who I am, how I rap, what I rap about. Mainly, like I said, for myself, and that's when I kind of noticed that I rap for myself. You get me? Everything I say is for myself, and I feel comfortable with that. There's different people that rap, for different reasons, basically. You get me? But for me, that's who I rap for. You get me? So once I noticed that, I started kind of feeling myself out, and now. Thankfully, now it's just like super smooth. You get me? Like I feel comfortable.
You can't picture going back to.
I could work definitely, and that's
in a group like you, someone else. You could still do it.
I could still do it. I wouldn't want to do that now, just because I've grown so much within myself that I'd rather just keep it to myself. You get me? But if the chance is given, fuck yeah, we'll start some shit up. But I feel like from now on, my priority would just be me. You get me?
101 on the low with the dose dipping like Wasasi in a Chevy. That's murder cruise in the higher crew, live from the valley to the OC. Running heavy like a 5, y'all ain't trying to see. Hit a lick for the same 9s in the back of fix. Some rubbers in the back of me in case I get it in. Y'all know what it do. Couple donuts on the 2. Friday night, mama know I'm out here acting like a fool. Hand down the 4-5, heading it's about 4-5. I ain't keeping track of time. Shit is loud everywhere I go, never out of town. Post in every city, get a quick fuck, followed by running around, mobbing down the 10, Santa Monica. Hit a couple minute walls, AOM to my city falls. Always out, mobbing, always on a mission. 3977, I'ma fit it up for exhibition. Cruising in the cruise, high ironic, smoking chronic. 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 210 to a speed like a 5 bar, swinging on the 5 bar, hoping I ain't hit a wall, 7 leg where them HUDs ain't play. You should visit anyway, these white girls pack cake. Catch me on the 60 after 5, coming up with rhymes. Exit on the scene with my scummy friend and put the score a couple lines. I already know we lit. Fender bending up your block, 710 to the 91. Dodging out a cop squad, fucking up your show, higher than your road. Ain't fucking with you cause we on a higher note. Run up on a loose lip, talking shit, lil punk. Catch him at the rap, pull him out his west, stuff him in the trunk. City running, slagging every corner of his map. And no matter where the function at, holler with the haps. 605 with a year to LAX, 105 riding dirtier than Freeway Ricky at his prime. Cruising in the cruise, high ironic, smoking chronic. Cruising in the cruise, high ironic, smoking chronic.
I've learned so much about myself, and now I'm able to write, and I feel comfortable with the style. I feel comfortable with my own style. I've found myself so much throughout these last years. You get me? So even a collab, kind of, I kind of think about it twice. You get me? I don't just collab with anyone.
This is not interesting you, right?
It's not.
You're experimenting with you.
Exactly. Yeah. And if there is a collab, it'll just be on a high note. You get me? And it's because we're kicking it. For example, yesterday we were just kicking it. We laced down a track, me, fucking M4 Music and the Wino. You get me? And it was just kind of spontaneous, but that's depending on how I feel at the moment. But as far as that, I don't think I'm not comfortable with stepping out of the crew. You get me? Like, I'd rather just keep it to myself, just because I feel like I'm starting to value myself a little way more. You get me? Like, I'm not just. There's
still a lot more for you to do. And to put your energy somewhere else.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Do you observe, like, are there artists that you're aware of? You don't have to say names, but like, to you, like, you're defining like rapping for yourself. Like, can you see artists that aren't doing that? Like, do you see it around you? And if so, like, do you see that as something that works for them, or do you think that every artist really should, as an artist, be for themselves?
Damn, honestly, I do see it. I see it, but it's not. I feel like everyone just does it, not necessarily rapping to themselves, but they have their own style. You get me? Like, that's
what works for them.
Yeah, exactly. What works for them. You get me? So, it could go both ways. I mean, there's a lot of people that just keep it. You know, they'll kind of run with it. They'll push it to what they can.
So I understand this. Like, does that mean like it's like they're thinking about the audience first as opposed to their own message or how they're rapping?
I get it.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah.
Do you feel so? Your approach has been like you're trying to pretend like the audience is not even there.
Yeah.
Right, and you're just going to.
And then the audience finds it.
Right. And so when you see artists that do that, do you, from your own journey, does that feel like they're not exploring their art as deeply as they could, or is that just
because they're staying in the box of what they think people like?
Right.
Yeah. No, I feel like every artist has definitely potential to grow within themselves. You get me? And that's just up to them if they want to grow or not. You get me? I guess I haven't really paid attention to an artist like that. You get me? But I do definitely feel like every artist has a lot within to grow. I don't think that you never stop growing. You get me? That's just one of the jobs that you never start. You're never comfortable with. You get me? You know that you could do better next time. You know that you're gonna do better next time. You get me? So it's just a never-ending thing. You get me?
What do you hate most about what you do? Like, if you're like, this is the one thing I wish we didn't have to do.
Shit. Honestly, I hate networking. I honestly do.
Yeah.
I don't like networking. I don't like if we're at a spot, I'd rather just be crew. You get me? Like, that's just how I feel. Like,
is that attached to your anxiety, you think?
That has a lot to do with it, I'm pretty sure. But it's just a certain level of comfort. And I don't sometimes I don't feel, not to be a douche and shit, you get me, but I don't feel like interest, you get me, certain things, you get me that. And so if I could avoid
you're into.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if I could avoid it, I will, for sure. I'd rather just kind of be alone and shit.
See, that for sure is the bigger advantage to having a team or a crew. Because like some people are dope at that. You got your extroverted friends, or you got your manager, your homie, whatever. Like, they're the ones that go chop it up and they blow you up. You know, like, yo, this is my homie, this is what he does. You know, like, so they do the networking. That's like the best part. We've had situations where you've been through it and I've become the extrovert, and the vice versa happens. Where like I do not want to talk to anybody. So like Chris will do like the talking, and like Chris doesn't want to talk to somebody, and I'll get into talking to people.
It's interesting because you and I have like a lot of parallels. Like, I'm an only child as well, and like I think I'm naturally an introvert, but and that's why I'm asking, like, as a fan of your music, like, there is like a concern of like, man, are you going to be able to push past that part that makes you feel uncomfortable? Because it doesn't seem like it's the music. It's like what I always tell people on the show, like, we're not having a discussion of whether or not you're dope or not. You know what I mean? Like, we already know, like, that's beyond the point. That's why you're on the show. Like, I'm wondering, like, dude, are you going to be able to flip what you do that I feel like more people need to hear? And from evaluating just in our conversation right now, there's only one thing that sticks out that could possibly stop that, and it's anxiety. Like, that's really the only thing, because everything, remove that and say, like, make you like a person who likes to talk to everybody, you're out of here probably. You know what I mean? Because everything else lines up, the music lines up, the art lines up, everything lines up. But the one thing that because most people who sign the checks, they got to be kind of sure about you. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be like, I don't know, that motherfucker always stands in the corner at the, you know what I mean? You can't tell, like, if he, you know, does he even like what he's good doing? Like, you know what I mean?
And I'm aware of that. I'm completely aware of that. Like, just, I probably portray a whole different, you know, like, just, I feel like I feel like a douche, you get me? Like, and it's not, I mean, don't care. You get me? Like I do it. Like I said, I do it for myself. You get me? And people fuck with it. You get me? And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. You get me? And I feel like that's what drives me. You get me? Just the fact that I get that positive response. You get me? From people that like it. You get me? So I'm not really pushing something that I'm not. You get me? And anything I do, I get a positive response out of. You get me?
Right.
Just because I am able to be wild with it or try it.
You don't seem to be worried about the haters either.
Nah, not at all. Not at all.
Actually, you can go through videos and there's haters there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel that's a huge part of that's part of the culture. You get me? And I fuck with it. It's cool. It's interesting.
I really like this question Chris used to ask a lot on this show. Like, if you were your own greatest hater, you're your own greatest hater, what would you say about you?
What do the haters say about you that you're like, damn, like for real?
Damn, I don't know. I feel like I could. I don't know. I feel like maybe I could just say certain things. You get me? That I don't know.
What's one that made you laugh? Where you were like, oh my god, like this was. Because you know what's the funniest thing about like the haters that kind of sting the most are the ones who, let's be honest, are probably paying attention to the most.
Yeah.
They're like on all your shit. So they're just unhappy about like one thing, and you're just like, fuck, I just made that one song like that. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, but for you, like, what are some of the things people have thrown at you? Like, oh, you don't do this, or you sound like this.
I mean, it could just vary. I don't think I can't think of anything specific. You get me? But just in general, like you're whack. You get me? Like you're played out, or you know, shit like that. You get me? But it's tight. Like it's.
What does that even mean?
Exactly. I know there's certain things that but
like, be that as it may.
For me, the fact that they actually took the time and that's just that shit. I appreciate even that.
I mean, the played out one is the funniest one because they're literally watching a video of you.
Exactly. You know, like
you're played out. So you watch played out shit.
Yeah, you're on it.
So you're played out.
What if it's a compliment? What if they're like really into whack shit?
Yeah, they're into whack shit.
They're like, oh,
and this whole time you've just been taking it wrong.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck.
They see them like, yo, man, I love that played out shit you keep doing.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another one that I love to ask people is, okay, if you were your own manager, and in unlimited budget, let's not get crazy though. You can't buy a stadium or anything. But I'm saying like for an album, you have a project ready, tour ready. But if you're your own manager, what do you feel like this person needs to do for you to, like, these are the parts that I need as an artist. You know what I mean?
Fuck, honestly.
Because I guarantee you, dude, there's a bunch of people listening right now going like, yo, I can help you with that. Like, I'll do that. Like, you know, what is it? If people, like, really want to help Exsr's business side, what are some things you could use?
Damn. Well, honestly, I feel... a crew, you get me? Like as far as like just moving with someone, you get me?
Like a team.
Yeah, exactly, a team. You know, someone that I could rely on for videos consistently. Just having an actual solid team to move together. You get me? Like that shit. It definitely. I feel like any artist that has been where they're at right now, it's because of that. You get me? Just certain amount of friends get together and shit, or homies or whatever.
It's undeniable at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So you do need you have to have a team, not necessarily rapping with you get me, but just someone with you at all times, you get me, because there's just way too much going on, you know, for yourself. There's so much shit you got to maintain, and studio and fucking and trying to find sessions here, trying to find videos there, just having everything in house. That shit's like, you know, it's the best shit you could, and like that, there's no way but up when it comes to that. You get me? Once you have that ready, there's no way you could go down. It's just if you keep it consistent, you're up. You get me? Like there's no way but up from there, from that point of shit, for sure.
Dude, okay, so like moving forward, do you feel, but real quick, just so we can have some like reference point, were your parents, either one of them, were they like creative people?
No, not at all.
So you credit your creativity to somebody?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
Nah, not at all. Nah, they're Mexican. You know, they're Mexican, so they came down here.
They're not allowed to be creative.
Nah. But nah, yeah. So I mean, they had their hands full. You get me? So they had to take care of what they had to take care of, and
it's that generation where
you want to do what?
They were playing safe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So do they get it?
Yeah, no, they.
Well, I mean, at this point, they have to have understood at least. I mean, they got to see the numbers. They have to understand what that means, right?
My pop was always been super supportive. He gave me, like he was always supportive, and like my mom.
Even on the crazy shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Was he like, my son might be crazy? You think?
No. Yeah, for sure.
To an extent.
We used to smoke a lot too. You get me together and shit. So he all the time with me. My mom's never really gave me shit about it. They never gave me shit about it. You get me? Like, hey, you're paying your own bills. You're doing your own shit. I started working when I was like 16. You get me? So since then, I never even went back to school. You get me? So I just always kind of been handling myself and help them whatever I can and shit. But they never gave me shit about it because of that. You get me? So if
you were always taking care of business.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that always made more sense to me. As like parents like that could say like,
why more parents don't do that?
Yeah, like I worked hard so that my kid can do something that he wants to do with his life, rather than like I work hard so he better fucking work the same way that I. But no, they're all
better suffer like me.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, they never give me shit about it, and they don't really. My mom she doesn't really understand it much. You get me? But she sees me going out. She sees me going to shows. She sees me fucking spending hours in fucking in the studio. You get me? And so she doesn't understand, like I said, but she doesn't give me shit about it. You get me? And she's never told me not to do anything. She's never, just it's always been tight with them. You get me? So,
she's never had input.
In your life. And do you have kids?
I have a daughter. I have a 2-year-old daughter.
Wow. Okay. So how's that changed life? I mean, that's only within last 2 years, right?
Fucking no, it's been super crazy. I fucking appreciate life. Crazy amount now. Like I said, it's just it might sound cliche and shit, but nah, that shit is real. Like that shit is definitely real. At first,
was it a surprise? Like how? Because you know how like being like a dude with no kids, you always hear your friends who have kids and they're like, nah, dog, you don't understand. Like there's this connection, and you're always like, come on.
Yeah, exactly. I like you're
like, I have a puppy. You know what I mean? Like, but when it happens for real, did you experience it?
Fuck yeah. So at first, when my girl was pregnant and shit.
Yeah.
Baby, I love you. When my girl was pregnant, fucking at first, all right, man. So I mean, it was just kind of like, oh fuck, you get me? We're gonna have a baby. You get some money. That was just kind of like priority money. You know? And just from what people had told me and shit, from what homies had told me, it's gonna get wild. Diapers and this and that. So money was priority. And I guess it didn't really hit me. I was just always I had it in the back of my head. I'm gonna have a kid, but it didn't really hit me. I want to say till like she was like 6 months, so like 5 to 6 months. At first, I was just I had a baby. You get me? Like I got to deal with her. You get me? Like there wasn't any like I as real as I could be. There wasn't any real like emotions. You get me? Like
it was just kind of
like shock, kind of like just kind of like, oh fuck, you get me? Once 5,
that was thinking.
One of our friends did the same thing.
Once 5, 6 months came, you start seeing different characteristics building up on a baby. You get me? So it's fucking crazy. You start seeing things that I started seeing things that I do. You get me? Little gestures that she does and shit, little laughs. What makes her laugh? Little things like that, and you're just emotionally invested little by little.
Out of you. You understand? Like that's crazy. You made something, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it wasn't just dope beat.
Nah, it was definitely like life changing. Once I started seeing little things that she did, and it was just fucking crazy. Nothing else mattered at that point. Honestly, nothing mattered. Like I didn't. I don't want to be fucking like I want to be a dick. I don't give a fuck. But like to her mom, like even her mom, like there was a certain like this is my priority now. You get me? Like my priority is my daughter. You get me? Like that's just it just happens. Like you don't even.
I think most women would agree too. I think they say the same shit pretty much.
A lot of people.
The guy always falls into third place, right? As soon as the kid comes.
But people always describe like dads, especially like we've talked about this a lot. Like that first moment you hold them, like something biologically shifts. But for some people, it's that what you're describing.
What our producer Eddie, he just had. Well, his son's the same. I think same age, and he's like, yeah, dude. Like the first 6 months, I thought something was wrong with me. Like, what the fuck? Everybody's saying like I'd be in love, and like what the fuck? And now he's like, dude, like my kid can make me cry at any moment. And he's like, I don't know how it happened. Like,
it just
happened.
Grows and shit. It's so fucking crazy. It's wild for sure.
Sometimes like the internet slows down a little bit. You gotta wait to download the shit. And then once it downloads,
then
you got the track on your hard drive.
In HD.
But sometimes the internet hiccups a little bit. It's fine.
It takes a little while.
Yeah, you still have the connection. It's fine. You paid your bills. Still gonna be able to go surf the web. It's gonna take a minute.
Dude, what do you have coming up? Like what should people expect from you like this coming year?
I'm so fucking excited. Like I said, lately I've been writing. I've been able to write. I've been able to just fucking. I had a little moment where I couldn't write shit. You get me? I was just kind of writing everything. It sounded repetitive. I was throwing shit away. You get me? I used to really push myself. I was trying to push myself. And lately, these last couple months and shit, I've laced down a couple tracks. I have my own setup. I have everything. I can take care of myself. You get me? So whenever I'm feeling it, I light myself up and I'm able to write, lace it, and just fuck with it myself. You get me?
That's dope.
I've learned everything. I know how to engineer as much as I can, like for myself. You get me? To my taste, and so I'm able to do everything I can now. You get me? And that's just, like I said, it's just a learning process. You get me? But
so does that mean a lot more music coming?
Yeah, definitely. Fucking So fuck, I got tracks lined up that I'm super excited about, and I'm just gonna focus on singles. To be honest, right now, I'm kind of over projects. Fuck it, like I'm just focused on singles. I'm gonna drop singles. I have everything set up the way I want to, as far as my website, as far as my fucking social platforms. I have everything lined up the way I want it. Now it's just literally work. You get me? Not even focus on a specific project. Just drop singles. Every single is a fucking fire ass single. So if I have to do a video to every single, then that's gonna be it. You get me? Like that's
just all in.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I'm excited.
Does the dad part feel like it's driving this now? Like before, it would be driven by like, oh, this my need to create as a crazy artist, and now you got a daughter. Like we're like, oh, if I do this like right, I could like set up my daughter. Do you feel like that's part of the driving force now?
Not necessarily looking at it like that, but it did. I feel comfortable now. That's what happened. So at first it was just kind of so much shit going on. You get me? Now I've reached the point where I know where I could take myself. I know where shit around me is. You get me? Like I could get a grasp of everything I want to. You get me? So now I'm comfortable with just moving forward. You get me? And yeah, I mean, it's just I'm super excited.
And I know you're one of those dudes, you know, from what I've followed, you're definitely one of those dudes who will just throw something out at any moment. Do you have a timeline at all when people will start to see this new music coming out?
I'm already working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already working on it. I'm planning to drop a video within this next month, and just video. There's gonna be a certain pattern for sure. I'm gonna build a pattern when I'm gonna be dropping new shit. But I have shit lined up that I'm super excited about. I'm gonna build a pace for sure. I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, this is the thing. I'll have to tell you this for sure. You need to do more of these things, because I think that there's an audience who you just filled in years of information for them. So I think it would be really hard. And we're going to be playing your music throughout this interview. So I think it's very hard for people to hear this and then not go back to listen to your music and hear it a different way now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was one of the things, because I know for me, I will now, because you filled in a lot of the blanks for me.
Something to add to that. My music is definitely, like I said, now that I mean, I do rap to myself, but it's definitely a listening. You have to listen to me. You get me? It's not just necessarily just to bump. You get me? Like you need to listen.
It's not fast food.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a real meal.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, there's a lot of shit that I covered.
Steak.
But this last project I dropped a month ago, you can find it on every streaming platform. It's called Noise. That whole project is just me kind of like pouring out to myself. You get me? Like and I feel comfortable. I was able to do everything myself. I was able to get in there and move everything the way I wanted to. As far as like words, as far as like phrases, as far as beats, as far as anything I wanted to, I had full control of. And that shit was definitely
it's like unfiltered
dope.
you.
Yeah, exactly. That shit was definitely dope. I was able to move everything I wanted. I was able to just have full hands on. You get me? So that whole project, this last project, I'm super proud of. And it definitely says a lot about me if you're a fan of listening to
and if they can follow follow you on.
They can follow me at by Exsr. That's for everything, for my Snap, for my Instagram, at by Exsr. Yeah, you'll find all my shit there.
And if you guys are listening to this on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, or Spreaker, you can go over to platformcollection.com and all his links will be there. So just click through. Plus, you can just search Exsr on platformcollection.com and you'll see the stuff that we've posted there too. Dope. We'll be posting everything else. So, man, I'm excited for the new stuff coming out. It's good to know that the weirdness came from a really good place.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I was watching videos and I'm like, damn, this motherfucker might be crazy. I don't know what this interview is going to be like. He might be eating a raw piece of meat or some shit.
Yo. No, I kind of like what you're saying, though. Like, you can family.
Yeah.
I like saying that as an action. Yo, we can family.
Yeah.
We can family, you can family.
Yeah.
Tight.
Dude, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Please come back again. I hope when you start dropping the projects, you come through again to let us know how everything's going.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. You may now flush the toilet.
Watching all of them drop. I want more like booming till my bang go pop. I know understand you ain't bout your guap. Get it while it's hot, you fuck a bitch and dodge a cop. Fuck a trap. Hood ain't finna swallow me. Money to my daughters, children eat like kings. Y'all ain't slowing me. Funny how I see. Life be flipping characters where I should be. Y'all ain't rap. Y'all too gotta put you in the feelings. I'm a lot, but my word all about my business. Y'all too pro at faking records, y'all niggas. Y'all ain't flexing into realness. No one asking where you at when y'all go missing. Spray you like a paint job with no weakness. Shooters ain't talking dice. Y'all ain't rapping half as nice. Y'all ain't working like time I started doing no one right. Till my money longer than that Peter Griffin chicken fight. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji. Reaching from the top. Till it looking like a dealer in my lap. Till my mama hating everything I buy. Till these stocking motherfuckers take a shot. Run it like you say you do. Why you acting new? Died a couple times and pulling through. Till I see my money through my fucking roof. Why you talking cases with no proof? Watch me master ceremonies, play my role, I know you spoofs. Ain't no one rolling joints like me. No one taking up my free. No relying on no fee. Till the smell of paper in my room is all I breathe. Hey, till I'm silent on you big like it was all a dream. It was all a dream. Shooters ain't talking dice. Y'all ain't rapping half as nice. Y'all ain't working like time I started doing no one right. Till my money longer than that Peter Griffin chicken fight. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. Flexing like, hey, you know Benji, he your friend of mine. 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 He your friend of mine.
Brought to you by platformcollection.com.